Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. You know, when I was bringing up my kids in the UK, if I said to one boy, "I love you," he would say, "Do you love me more than my brother?" And I would have to say to him that it's not a case of choosing one above the other. You can love more than two things. You can love more than three things. You can love more than one country. You can love more than two countries. And I'm looking at a statement that was made by one of our subscribers, and she said that I don't think that a successful man would want to live in America. Miss, let me tell you something about America. America is one of the most incredibly versatile countries that you will ever go to. If you would, as many Americans have done, if you were to sell your home in America and buy one of those very fancy RVs with pull-outs and, you know, everything but its own bowling alley and swimming pool, you could tour America for the rest of your life. I don't care how old you are or how young you are, and you would see the most diverse country in the world. It is an amazing place. Now, I'm sure that you're sitting there now and say, well, if it's so amazing, why are you in the Philippines? I'm in the Philippines, and I consider that I have my measure of success. I'm a relatively talented person. I'm creative. I'm a writer. I'm a sculptor. My wife is starting to flush the toilet right now. Honey.
I'm sorry. I didn't go, sorry.
Are you flushing the toilet?
I'm flashing now.
That quite possibly, the noise of flushing the toilet might possibly be the high point of my talk.
Sorry.
But let's get back to it and be serious. America is a country of unbelievable sights and sounds and cultures within a country. So even though Americans who have left the country and have chosen for many different reasons to live in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Indonesia, in China, in any number of different countries, even though they have done that, it does not mean only one reason than that of finance or that of women. It can mean many things. Personally, I came here because I wanted to have another adventure. I'm getting on in years. Some of you may not have spotted that, by the way, but I am. And I didn't want to just end my days. I wanted to start something anew. And I chose to come to the Philippines because my youngest boy was living in Pampanga, in San Fernando, with his mum, who is Filipino. And we are divorced for many years. We're on relatively good terms, and so I came and I stayed with my son, and we enjoyed bonding for a few months. It was always my intention to move on and probably to go and see Thailand as my next stop. That never happened because I got interested in the culture here, and I actually began to feel more relaxed and more at peace than I had in America. Now, so I came in search of adventure. You know, us old guys do sometimes think about having another adventure. It's not all about whether they're going to have a cushion on their rocking chair. You know, some of us actually think in a live, vibrant way, and I count myself, I think, as one. So I decided to stay, and then surprisingly I bought an ancient Volkswagen, an old Beetle, and I found a mechanic who was willing to refurbish it. And then, it's funny how these things just go on, I found an apartment that was close to where he was doing the refurb, restoration, and I became friends with that family, and suddenly I was there and I was starting to integrate into the society. Well, the refurb done, my interest and my focus changed again, and I thought, why don't I look at something else, look at somewhere else? And somebody, believe it or not, it was as casual as this, I looked in on Cebu, and I thought, hell, why don't I just get on a plane and go and have 5 days in Cebu? And I did that. And I actually started to intend that I would go and live in Cebu. And I'd started off that search, and then on my last day there, I was already starting to text, just for fun, a woman that was far too young for me and that I was far too old for. And short story is, I ended up marrying her. And here I am. Okay? Now, in order to make a statement like a successful man, oh my God, you have opened one enormous subject there. Ask anybody who has had any measure of success, what do you consider is success? Now, do you think that a Buddhist monk would have the same measure of success as, say, somebody that was on the stock exchange? Would he have the same one as someone who is an artist doing sculptures of action figures? Would it be the same as someone who is a painter? Would it be the same as someone who is a musician, who is a businessman, who is any number of a million things that you can do on this planet and enjoy a measure of success? It's not all about getting up and singing a song or playing an instrument and having people fall over themselves because you're an actor or whatever. It's not all about that. It's about an inner feeling, for me, once again, for me, that you have found your place. That's success for me. When Beth and I got married, we fully intended, and I've said this many times, but we've got so many new subscribers, nearly 11,000 in the last 28 days, new subscribers. We thought that we'd go and live somewhere else. And we were actually targeting going to live in Panama. Why? Well, because it's there. And it's another adventure. And then we came to the Hall, and you could say that there we were thinking that we knew it all, and this mission to help came over, grabbed us by the scruff of the neck and said, oh no, you're not. And so here we are. Don't think that you can make assessments for anybody else about what is good in life. I never, in all of my talks, I never say to any American, hey, get over here, you'll be happy. In fact, of the visitors that come to see us, I do tend to warn them, look, this is not for everybody. People who look at the beauty of the hills that surround us and how we live and how we talk about how we live, the adventures that are simple life to us that other people eat up and say, you live in a paradise. Well, yes, I think that I do. Others say, you are so lucky to have Beth. Well, I agree that I am, and then others think that she is lucky to have me. And we all are in agreement on these things, but they're not everybody's idea of success, and they're not everybody's idea of happiness. You know, I still shower every day outside on a concrete pad with a faucet that issues forth into a bucket cold water. Not everybody wants to do that. A lot of people think that I'm incredibly stupid, and for them, I am. It's a question of how do you spell duh. So, what are you going to decide? No one can decide it for you. I have a friend who came over relatively recently, and he is now struggling to find a measure of peace within a culture which has him saying the repeated phrase, I don't understand. Will he be able to stay? That's an interesting question. Who will give the answer to that question? Not you, not me. Him. And he will decide whether what he has found here, good, bad or indifferent, is for him. And no one else can make that decision. That's why the main advice that I say to someone who is, I have people who are calling me, texting me, messaging me, saying, what's the price of a reasonable size of acreage, footage, measuring of land that I can build a decent house on? I had that question today. I tell them, don't start thinking in terms of buying a place and where, and can someone help you to choose. Come over here, spend a few weeks, rent a motorcycle or a bike or a car, travel around, meet people, meet expats, find in every place that you will go, you will find expats who you may hate or you may love, or you may love some of them, hate some of them, and be indifferent to the rest. It's a select little clique in every place that you go. And whoever finds me boring with a creepy voice, I've been told that, and whoever loves what I say, they're all different. And they're all meeting their own demands for happiness and peace in their own way. And some of them will stay. Some of them will stay for a limited amount of time, and then they'll get tired maybe of saying, what my friend said of, I don't understand how they do this, and they won't stay. I had a subscriber who wrote and said about the way that mechanics shops are run here, and said, absolutely, that's not the way that it should be done. And then he gave a list of totally correct, totally safe, total efficient, good suggestions of how it should be done. And it won't be done here. And I said to him, given what you've told me, words to the effect of, given what you've told me, I give you 3 days and you will be insane if you come and live here. All of those things that people find to complain about here may or may not be valid for them, right? You may not be a person who is self-contained enough to have people around you speaking a foreign language that you have already decided you are not going to be able to master, and you may not be able to put up with it. It takes a certain kind of person, a certain kind of willingness to have a foreign language spoken around you most of the time and yet not be disturbed by it. I keep having to ask my wife, what was said? And I'm realizing more and more that I'm being stupid. I have actually learned how to spell duh, and I'm trying to learn the language. Is it hard? Yes. Am I having losses? Yes. Am I feeling that I'll never manage it? Of course I am. But I'll still continue. And I'll eventually learn to bumble my way through a few sentences and paragraphs and have some kind of a conversation. Probably in between large bouts of laughter from any Filipino that is listening to me. But I'll put up with it. So, are you successful in America or the UK or in the West and wondering if this person is right? Maybe she is. For her, maybe she is. That's the whole point. Maybe she's not. And maybe she's part right and maybe she's part wrong. If you're interested in coming, no matter what your level of success is in your own estimation, if you're interested in coming and living in any false culture or any new culture, different culture, go to that culture and have a look. Watch the people. Never mind that you don't understand what they're saying. Have a look at their body language. Have a look at how they treat each other. Have a look at all of those things which are not tied to a verbal language. And there are plenty. Have a look at the kids. Do you think that kids are something that you could relate to? Because in certain cultures, like the Philippines, you'll be surrounded by kids. You better get along with them. You better at least like most of them. You better like most of what you see, no matter where you go. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying come to the Philippines. It doesn't mean that I'm saying leave behind America. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means come and have a look. And come and have a look here can be the here of your choice. Be it Costa Rica, be it South America, be it, I don't know, be it England. Maybe there are ads on Facebook now which are saying, come back to the UK. Come back to your home base. Come back to where you'll be happy. And maybe you will. And maybe you won't. Who's going to tell you? You're going to tell you. You're going to decide. And my advice only is give yourself the best break by going there and having a look. That seems to me to be fair comment. Not just my opinion. It seems to make sense. Okay. Or not. There's no winning, is there, sometimes? Thanks for looking in. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now. You can share this if you think it will help somebody.